back, eternal wanderers of the golden void. This is Ludonauts. I am your host, the narrator, a cosmic being dwelling in a vast crystal pavilion at the heart of the multiverse. I've just pulled out 3 players from their hibernation tanks, ready for another game. Let's meet them.
My name's Robin, and I'm playing Nibelung Pigborn, the derivative dwarf.
Hello, I'm Craig, and I'll be playing Gitbit, the Temple Knight of Telak.
And I am Michael, and I will be portraying Peter Penumbra, the Kakajin, a darkness mutant.
It is the night before the Great Sphinx's Riddle contest in the city of Troika. Our heroes, being short of cash, are directed to the Blancmange and Thistle Hotel, where a mysterious benefactor has a job for them. So now, they, and a little metal friend they met along the way, find themselves stood in the presidential suite meeting their new employer, the Obsidian Sphinx. The presidential suite is as large and as decadent as you would expect. Dominating the room, though, is the enormous figure of the Obsidian Sphinx reclining on a chaise lounge. Enter, please.
I will enter.
The Sphinx takes the form of an enormous hairless cat with a great bulbous human head unnaturally sprouting from her shoulders. Ah, you must be the friends of Big Jim, yes?
Big Jim, that's our lad.
Yes, magnificent Obsidian Sphinx, we are indeed. We come at his command.
Yes. I'm looking for some individuals to perform a small task for me, of which, of course, you will be rewarded.
How many rats do you need killed? Because we will kill your rats.
A whole basement full of rats.
I'll take a hammer to those rats. I'm prepared.
Well, it is a matter of some delicacy, requiring a certain amount of discretion, but you will of course be rewarded for your trouble. Is this something that interests you?
Discretion is a speciality of mine, though I will say, if it's a matter of secrecy, we are not alone here, and I will look directly indicating the little metal boy.
I'll vouch for him.
Yeah, I don't know why. Mr. Penumbra's a narc all of a sudden.
I don't know if this person is known to you, but he is not known to us. He merely appeared amongst our party.
I don't know why Peter Penumbra hates my metal son as much as he does. Exactly, our metal son, Pig, yes. He eats wasps.
I know, but presumably so do lots of people.
Yeah, well, do you like wasps?
Yes, that's why I asked for the wasp meat. That's where the whole wasp thing came from.
I was going to say, like, if he likes wasps but you hate wasps, then we like him more than we like you, but if you also enjoy the wasps, then I can't say anything against you.
Okay.
But you're saying things against our metal son, so there's a conflict here.
We simply don't
Despite all appearances,
who he is.
Your ladyship, we're pretty good at discretion. No one has any idea what we've ever been doing.
The only people that will know about this operation are the 4 of us and everyone else in the world.
As you are probably aware, the last few riddle contests have not gone well for me. So I've decided to resort to more underhanded tactics. The Carnelian Sphinx will be opening the doors of her home in the Grand Conservatory to the cream of Troika society. I require you to infiltrate this gathering and find me anything useful that I can use to my advantage, perhaps a sneak preview of the riddles for tomorrow.
I see.
A riddle heist? We can do a riddle heist.
A reist. I like it.
Now, I have arranged for Baron Maximilian Rhombobulus to be inconvenienced. He's one of the most important guests. I'm led to believe, she looks over at Peter, that you have some faculty with disguises.
Yes, it is some things I can do.
Excellent. You can disguise yourself as the Baron and infiltrate the VIP section in the House of Indolent Blooms within the conservatory.
Very well.
And what's in it for us?
What has a head and a tail, but no arms and legs?
A coin, of course.
Yes.
Oh, I was going to say some sort of unfortunate, suffering.
I was going to say a
creature.
snake, because a snake also has a head, tail, and no arms and legs.
For some reason, rats were on my mind.
I'm beginning to see why the Sphinx is, got a bit of a losing streak going on.
Would say the sum of 200 silver pieces each would be appealing. Plus, of course,
Split 4 ways.
3, surely.
Our metal son. Why are you like this?
and of course, anything interesting you might happen to pick up while on your travels.
At your opponent's house.
Yes.
Well, you've heard it here first, boys. Carte blanche for thievery.
I'm not suggesting you rob her blind.
No, we'll keep our eyes open.
How would you feel about a fire? Like a large fire?
Best not do anything that would draw too much attention to the situation.
A medium fire?
Oh, that's where I was going.
Well, I would imagine that you would like for the riddle contest to actually take place rather than being burned to the ground.
Well, it can still take place, but like your opponent will just be worried that our house was on fire the previous evening. Like, I'll be off for a game.
Well,
right?
she might be in the zone as a result.
You think it'll focus her?
I think it'll focus her up.
It's like all the possessions gone, all the loved ones gone.
She doesn't need anything else. It's just her and the riddle now.
Subtlety and discretion. Yes.
Remember, Big Jim put us here.
So, the plan that you are suggesting is I disguise myself as Baron Rhombobulus.
Baron Maximilian Rhombobulus.
Maximilian Rhombobulus. And then insert myself into the royal suite of people watching.
Into the VIP section within the Grand Conservatory. The House of Indolent Blooms, where my opponent dwells, will be the high point of the party.
I see. And the answer to the riddle should be there.
Will it be on a notebook? Will it be scrawled in blood on a wall?
I'm sure you'll find something. I seek any information that I can leverage to my advantage tomorrow.
Well, I mean, if you're willing to split it 4 ways, then I'm absolutely up for this. Pete?
Well, it's okay.
Pig?
You had me at hello. And also at grand larceny.
Would you care for some refreshments?
Yes.
You haven't got any bonbons, have you?
Unfortunately not. I have arranged for some human refreshments. She gestures towards a table where you can see there's several bottles of diluting squash and some biscuits and a bowl full of crisps.
Do you know what I really hope? I really hope this party rings.
I'll have some crisps.
It's chocolate digestives.
I will see what happens to Gitbit when Gitbit has some crisps.
I take a paper plate, because there's definitely paper plates.
Paper plates.
And I stack it high. This is strategic. This is architectural. Layering chocolate on bit digestives, packing the middle with crisps.
Are you having some orange squash as well?
I'll absolutely tuck into the orange squash, yes.
Okay, the two of you, your health is restored to full.
Oh, good.
When nothing bad seems to happen, I will...
Oh, you're keen! More keen on the biscuits now!
Well, yes.
Oh, sorry, I've taken...
We've only seen so much food so far, and most of it has transformed us into horrific abominations.
I think I'm still a bit of an abomination. Am I still hiccuping?
Oh, yes. So, upon consuming the juice, you return to your previous form. The hiccups had already passed.
It always pays to be prepared.
And after I load up my my own party paper plates with nibbles and things, I'll sidle over to the strange mechanical presence that has decided to join us, and I'll say, "So, do you have a name? Can you communicate anyway? Can you write?"
He holds up his little hand to you as if you have to shake it.
Okay, I will suspiciously shake his hand.
He shakes it enthusiastically.
Okay.
How do you suspiciously shake a hand? Like a Freemason?
What's wrong with you, Pete? Did you not see his little metal hand?
Oh.
Do you not see him trying his best? He's so small.
Have you never heard of work placement, Peter?
I have heard of work placement.
Well, there you go.
Have you been placed here for work?
He continues shaking your hand enthusiastically.
He's the best of us.
What, if anything, do I know of Baron Rhombobulus?
Baron Rhombobulus is a equally loved and reviled figure in Troika high society. As the scandal and gossip sheets are full of his exploits. He's a very flamboyant and colourful character. You know what he looks like. Everybody's probably slightly more familiar than they really want to be with him. If you think he's like
it's Boris Johnson. It's just Boris Johnson. It's Boris
Boris.
Johnson.
He's not political. I imagine more of a sort of, I don't know, Kardashian sort of figure.
So he looks like Kim Kardashian then.
Big celebrity who none of us are particularly sure why. Oh no, actually we do know why Kim Kardashian is a big celebrity.
Not on the podcast.
But
she has a lot more money than we do.
All you do is put an alleged in front of things.
Okay, well, so I should be able to use my veneer to disguise myself as him then, at least.
Mm-hmm.
What is Baron Maximilian Rhombobulus?
That sounded like you were getting it wrong on purpose, but that is actually his name.
He's a human nobleman.
All right. Okay.
He's got like a big blonde quiff of hair, and he's typically seen in like a suit made out of living leaves that sort of pulsate and photosynthesize as well.
Okay.
Elfie bastards.
His capacity for drinking and carousing is legendary.
Well, we should probably leave this hotel.
No,
I'm going to flip my hat. I'm going to take my hat off. I'm going to just shove crisps and party food into it and put it back on, because we've got to get the lift back down again.
Well, I will bid farewell to our Sphinxy host and say that we're on the case.
One more thing, the embryonic engines that keep the interior of the conservatory divorced from the standard temporal flow are synced with outer time only once every 100 years. You must be back before the morning.
Okay.
Right.
Common problem.
What time is it now?
The Troika clock doesn't work quite the same way, but it's the equivalent of about maybe 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
It's about 50 o'clock.
50.
Yeah.
Got you.
The Grand Conservatory is not that far from the hotel.
Okay.
Well, I think that
As long as we don't die in the lift going back down, this should be fine.
It might be marginally
What do
less
you-
fatal to jump down the lift shaft.
Are you going to get the lift, or are you going to take the stairs back down?
I think that there's probably only so many encounters in the lift, so we're probably best to take lift.
Take lift.
Oh, like sort of I'm walking down all those stairs, but busy taking the lift. If I'm dying, I'm
should,
dying in comfort.
We should take the lift, go back down to the floor where the shopkeeper was, and tell him, don't you worry, we're going to do a bit of theft, and when we come back, we'll have lots of money to spend on your bits and bobs.
This is the famous discretion in action.
He's built into the wall. Who's he going to tell?
Everyone who takes the lift. Every single person who takes that lift.
Unless you're proposing that you brick him up after you tell him this.
Like a sad Henry. You know, that is appealing.
I suppose my plan would be
Yes.
maintain my current Valier-induced disguise of an upper-class sort, because we're going to the VIP area, look around, case the joint,
Yes.
and then if we need to use the authority derived of being Baron Rhombobulus, then I'll find a quiet corner to transform myself in, and then actually take action. Are you going to go to this? Yeah.
Counterpoint. If you turn up as Baron Rhombobulus, we can be your
bodyguards.
Bodyguards, flunkies, and that way no one's going to question what we're doing there.
I think Gitbit's possibly bodyguard material.
You could be a pet.
I don't like that that's where your mind first went, Gitbit.
A pet pig.
I'll tell you what, if
very
you are
avant-garde.
insisting that we're bringing our mechanical friend with us, then I can tell people that you are his creator and engineer that we have brought in order to maintain him so that he continues to work.
That sounds terrifyingly elaborate and something that could easily be blown. I can just be a drinking buddy of the famous alcoholic.
Okay.
Because I don't have any mechanical skill, and all it takes is one question
But
about how
you're
he
a
works.
dwarf and they're racists. They won't inquire.
You hate mechanical life, you hate dwarves. We're learning a lot about
I
you.
don't hate dwarves. I'm saying the upper classes will probably think, oh yes, a dwarf, mechanical things.
He's
yes,
getting too
absolutely.
into character.
Do we need any thieving tools? Do you think the shop would have any thieving tools?
I don't think it matters because we haven't been paid in advance.
No.
That is a fair point. 'Cause do we have collectively no money now?
I think we have one money.
One money.
Exactly one money.
One money. Well, they might have like a cheapo offer on thieving tools.
We could thieve the thieving tools.
I don't know if I'd cross that wall, man.
This is like the inversion of Who Watches the Watchmen. You know, who thieves from the thieves?
The Obsidian Sphinx says, it may be quicker if you take the servants' elevator down.
Ah, yes.
She said, desperate to let us leave.
Let's do that then.
I'll wave goodbye to the Sphinx and I'll say, when you see the fire, that's the signal.
I see.
Thumbs up.
Slip her a big wink.
Always be ready.
Okay, you make your way back down with absolutely no incident whatsoever, refreshingly so, and you emerge out on the street in front of the Grand Hotel.
I don't think that I should be the Baron while just walking across the street looking for the place where we're going. How is it obvious where it is that we're going?
You know where it is because it's a famous landmark. It's there's a central park, which, as the name suggests, is more or less in the middle of Troika. Located in the central park is the barge port. If you can imagine like a giant metal dandelion, a mega structure, huge metal dandelion, and each little petal, little seed of dandelion is like a scaffold where a barge can sail in and attach itself. And then the central stalk has multiple lifts that travellers can ascend and descend. There's also shops and all what you'd expect to see at a normal airport, customs and all that sort of thing. Duty free. So, but to avoid any unfortunate crashes or disasters or that, the park is like a large buffer zone around it. But located in that park is the Grand Conservatory.
Well, I think we should make our way towards the park, and then when we're in the park, then I'll make my transformation.
Is it far enough that we should maybe take the internal organ trains, or?
It's walking distance, but bear in mind you don't have any money.
Again, that is a problem that keeps coming. Why did you all spend all of our money?
On wasps.
It's an addiction.
They were good wasps.
They were excellent wasps. We begin to walk, obviously.
Also, if I recall, we have been spending all of our money on wasps we had previously consumed that we had not yet paid for.
Not even wasps that were consumed, on camera for the benefit of the pod.
No.
Previous.
There were like lore wasps,
The deep lore.
The deep lore of the sheer amount of wasps that we had drunk and then owed money to.
Well, let's go.
Okay, you make your way through the streets. Even though this is a fairly upmarket town, the mood in the streets has changed from an hour or so ago, that there seems definitely a little bit more aggression. You can see there's groups of people in black and red scarves and uniforms, supporters of each Sphinx. And there seems to be a bit more aggression between the two camps now, the people shouting out insults.
You fucking nerds.
You can't riddle for shit.
Ever since money got into the riddle game, ever since all the corporate sponsorships, it used to be an independent, fan-based sport, and now look at it.
Is it really a spectator sport?
Apparently.
One might even say it's the spectator sport.
I mean, I can see that it is, but
that's what makes it a spectator sport.
But should it be?
Certainly the people of Troika are very passionate about the riddling.
There's a lot of money riding on it. That's
true.
Why
this is the big one. It's only every 100 years. You continue through the streets until eventually you arrive at the central park. The barge port looms above you impressively, and you can see the bright lights of arriving and departing barges.
I can see that if things go particularly sideways, it might be a thing to do to steal one of those and fly away on them, because I can drive them.
Excellent. We're surrounded by getaway vehicles. Good call, Peter.
I'd imagine it would be as easy as stealing an aeroplane.
Well, yes.
But if you have a pilot with you...
Collectively, we've got...
That puts it up a notch.
Yeah, it's like, if I'm at an airport and I've got a pilot...
Collectively, we've got about 17 swords and a gun. I'd probably do it.
All the 17 swords on one person.
This night has been taking a turn, because, I was just up for some drinking, some, preparedness, some always being alertedness.
Are you trying to tell me that you weren't ready for this because you were too busy being ready?
I was too busy being ready, and then all of a sudden we're criminals, we're going to go set fire to a cat or something. I don't know if I can do that. Killing rats, but a big cat. A big fleshy, or maybe it's the opposite. What was a big hairy cat? That would help with the fire, obviously. But...
I think you may have misunderstood the assignment.
No, I think you got it perfectly. I think I've misunderstood the assignment and have been corrected.
That Sphinx was talking a big game about fire. Did you not say something? Or
you tried your best to talk her out of it, but
the Sphinx didn't mention fire.
She was so insistent that we burn her competitor and all the fire. And she said, "Be conspicuous. Send a message. I want everyone to know this was me. I want my name associated with this event."
You've reached the rolling green hills and forests of Troika, a central park. You can see more or less directly underneath the barge port, you can see the domed shape of the Grand Conservatory.
Okay. Now, nearby, are there any bushes or trees, or perhaps a handy telephone booth?
There's not a telephone booth. Certainly it's spacious enough that you can find somewhere to discreetly transform.
What I want to do is I want to like walk behind like one end of a bush as my like generic upper class sort, and then walk out the other side as
specific upper class sort.
Rumbobulous.
Okay, you do so.
Wearing a suit made of oak leaves.
That's fine. It's your choice.
Yeah.
If this was a visual medium, that would be a good shot.
No.
My good friend Rumbobulous.
Ah, yes, Wacko, great. Good stuff. Hello. Come on then.
You make your way down a path towards the Grand Conservatory. You can see already there's a long queue of revellers waiting to get in.
Make way, I'm going through.
You push your way past the people and you can hear, Rumbobulous,
Yes, great stuff, good to meet you. Yeah.
No, that dick's not here, is he?
I'll intermittently flick everyone the V's as we walk past.
I'll shake the hands of everybody that clearly doesn't want me to shake their hands and ignore everybody that looks like they would want me to shake their hands.
There's considerable distaste on the faces of a lot of the people you decide to do this to.
It's good stuff. It's going to be quite sure.
There's photographers here as well, so the whole thing's caught on camera for the local gossip rags.
Can we like hold up our beautiful mechanical son together for like a family, like a loving family?
I hold one of his hands and you hold the other hand. He sort of skips between us like a happy child.
And we wave. Oh, how we wave.
The photographers aren't particularly interested in you two. It's more the Baron.
But we're getting between the Baron and the photographs anyway.
We're in his wake.
Okay, well, I'll like put an arm around both of them and put up the peace sign or something.
Okay, all the flashbulbs go off.
Yeah. I say, has anybody got any drinks?
So you should make it up to the massive door of the conservatory. There's a sort of velvet rope, and there's two pillbug guards, similar to the ones you saw at the hotel, but these ones are in a sort of orangey red coloured armour.
Okay, well, I'm just going to, with full confidence, go up and be like, good evening, working hard or hardly working?
They laugh obsequiously.
Right, which way then? Which way, eh?
Just through here, sir.
Very good, very good.
You walk through the door. You're standing on a small wooden pier. There's what appears to be a fairly shallow sea. The sky above you is foggy and indistinct, and there are distant walls made of black iron filigree. You can see standing at the end of the pier there's three goblins, and there's a hatchway that seems open just in the space above them. You can see cogs and gears turning. One of them notices you and elbows the other two. They slam the door in reality shut and stand around looking embarrassed. The goblins are dressed in sort of workman outfits.
I suppose I'll gesture over and go, oh, don't mind me, boys. It's keep up with the good work.
The larger goblin, who you assume to be some sort of foreman, starts chittering angrily at the other two.
Okay. If you ask them if there's any rats,
I think you could perhaps ask them if there's any rats you deal with.
I'll go up to the goblins and I'll be like, lads, is there any rats that need hammering?
Rats, fella? No, ain't no rats here, mate.
No rats at all?
Well, you know what they say about the city, you're never more than 6 feet from a rat, is you?
So there is rats here, is what you're subtly trying to tell me that there is indeed some rats.
Listen, mate, I can neither confirm nor deny the presence of rats here, but if anyone asks you didn't see anything here, alright?
Well, I didn't see any rats, for sure.
What didn't we just see?
Well, as you can see, the reality engine is functioning perfectly.
And what if it wasn't working perfectly? What would, say, happen to everyone in it?
I mean, it would be fine. There wouldn't be anything much to worry about.
Yes.
I mean, if there was a problem, I mean, you might exit the conservatory before you were born, or a million years in the future, but I mean, that's not the sort of thing that would happen on our watch.
You seem like a good bunch of lads. If you see any rats, let us know. And if you see a fire, just enjoy it. Just enjoy the fire. Stay warm, you know. It's cold out, presumably.
Okay.
Quality radio.
So is this the VIP area, or do we still need to make our way to?
Doesn't look like a house of indolent rooms.
No.
There is a door at the far end of the room, but it looks like you might have to wade
So wheat.
Weed.
Oh, weed. Oh, that's no good.
So, Goblin, is this how we get to the VIP place? I'm a fancy bodyguard with a newborn mechanical boy son.
He looks at your little mechanical son, he sort of taps it. He says, good workmanship there.
Yeah. I birthed him.
We were there, we saw it. It was horrible, but beautiful.
That's how I remember it anyway. It was last night. It was this night, actually.
What?
Yes.
It was merely 2 hours ago.
Time flies. See, when you're raising a child, like, the first few years go like that.
I have no memory of this, but I have been rather busy on the sauce myself.
Yes.
So do we need to wait? Do we have to wade through the water? Is there going to be like a spookily boogly in the water at all?
Is there perhaps a boat or something that's the important guests such as myself could be transported within?
Could you rend reality like asunder so we don't have to like wet our feet at all?
Well, I mean, for yourself, Baron, we could probably sort something out.
Yes, please. Greatly appreciated.
They open a different hatch in the air, and you can see various circuits. The chief goblin, the goblin overseer, pokes around with a screwdriver. There's a couple of sort of sparks and crackles of electricity, and he's like, "Oh, you bugger!" He starts back at one point, and you can see a path appears between the end of the pier and the door at the far end of the room.
Oh, greatly appreciated there, gents. Yes, fantastic. Wonderful. Wacko.
No worries. Anything for a man of your distinction, but, we'd still appreciate it if you maybe didn't mention the machinery thing.
Oh, no, mum's the word.
We've got you. And again, if you see a fire, that's the signal.
And a sled and a wink.
Well, let's continue across this path.
There's little steps up out what would have been the water. You squelch your way across the seabed. There's various starfish and startled-looking crabs, and you make your way up the steps and into the next room. You seem to be in a cavern. All the rocks have been lined with aged velvet drapes, but they're all damp and mouldy. The variety in colours of moulds and lichens growing from the drenched fabric is astounding. It seems almost purposeful. The smell of mould and decay is quite overwhelming.
Right. So we've been on our way to the VIP section. We've been led into the rotting room.
Surely this is it. This is where all the stars come.
It's really hip and happening.
So there are various passageways going off in different directions.
Okay, which one smells the least bad?
Sense of smell is quite overwhelmed at this exact point, at the moment in time.
I can solve this. And I'll look at my mechanical son and I'll be like, son, which way do you want to go?
He points directly upwards.
Okay. Is there any...
I'll look directly upwards.
Just the roof of the cavern.
Okay, well, he's very stupid, I'm afraid.
How fucking dare you?
He's participating. It's important to encourage their development with positive feedback at this age, Peter.
We have no idea how old this robot man is.
He's been in our lives 2 hours. That could be a lifetime.
It feels like 2 years.
It feels like 2 years.
Or perhaps a month.
Perhaps a month.
You hear from behind a stalactite, "Oh, hello, boys."
Now, is that behind a stalactite or a stalagmite?
Whichever one is correct.
I'll say hello.
You find yourself in the unwelcome presence of Damp Kenneth.
Oh God, no.
Do we know Damp Kenneth?
Unfortunately, you are familiar with Damp Kenneth. He's a fellow inhabitant of Mrs. Stiffcroon's boarding house. In fact, he has the room next to you, Gitbit. Damp Kenneth is a befiler of ponds.
You never want to go into the bath after Damp Kenneth has been.
Is that like a class? You can be a befouler
You
of ponds?
can be a defiler of ponds.
Good God.
The befiler of ponds are high priests of Pit Shrip, a bloated toad god. The bloated toad god has no church other than the periphery of ponds where the foulness catches in the reeds, and no congregation other than the gnats and the dragonflies.
I mean, there's an awful lot of strange gods going around. You've got your sword readiness god. I've got my power and the glory who lives in the darkness. Apparently there's a frog hemoth god.
Kenneth, you're right.
Hello there, Gitbit and Nibblewong. I didn't know you were friends with the great Baron Wombobulus.
It's a recent,
I'm doing it.
recent acquaintance. I'm sorry, who are you? Do you work here?
He takes your hand in both his damp hands and shakes vigorously.
I will shake even more vigorously.
There's a strong vegetable mulchy smell that comes off damp Kenneth.
This is the most love anyone has shown him in years.
Kenneth, we've been blessed with a child.
Oh, I see. What an interesting little fellow.
Yeah, he's nice, isn't he?
I will now wipe my hands on Pig's trousers.
Quite a way to bend down.
Maybe your hat then, I don't know.
I was invited to this party as the highest wanking befouler in the city.
Do you know what, Kenneth? I quite believe it. The walls of Mrs. Sniffbone's boarding house are notably quite thin.
I found the party a bit too rowdy for me, so I wandered off, and I like it here, it's very damp.
Oh, do you know where you wandered off from, sir?
Oh,
It's
been a while, there's a lot of other...
misdirected.
There's some very strange rooms. But he sort of cocks his head up. But can you hear the voice of the lichens?
Often.
I will try and hear the voice of the lichens.
Would everyone like to make a skill roll? If anyone has an awareness.
You should have awareness, I think.
Awareness?
You are aware.
Yeah, I'm aware. I've got 9 and I've rolled an 8.
So that's a success.
That's another success for me.
7, and I don't think I have awareness, so fail.
Okay, Pig and Gitbit. You actually can hear a distant, slow voice.
Sorry about the poisonous spores.
Big slowly shakes out some crisps to leave room for his head and pulls his hat down over his nose and mouth again.
We're breathing deadly things again, aren't we?
All three of you actually are starting to feel a little bit shaky.
Okay. We've been done in, and that's fine, because we've got damp Kenneth here. Damn, Kenneth, you can probably breathe into our mouths and give us some sort of immunity, or...
I would rather inhale the spores. I cannot describe to you, in character, how unappealing having damp Kenneth within 20 metres of me is.
Damn, Kenneth, you know, what's it called? Damn, Kenneth, you know first aid, right? You went on that course.
Well, I am a practiced healer.
Yeah, you could probably heal us of these poisons, right?
I like the poisons.
Yeah, the poison's good. We're not criticising the poison.
We just don't need to.
Pete might criticise it.
The Baron, who we call Pete.
Oh, you called him Pete?
It's a nickname, because we're drinking buddies. Would you like a nickname, damn Kenneth?
No.
Come on, Kenny.
The children have a lot of names for me.
What do they call you, damn Kenneth?
They call me Smelly. They say I'm very swirly.
We don't have any problems with the poison. The Baron might have some problems with the poison. We think it's neat, but we also have a thing to do tonight. We're on a mission for the Baron.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to say yes. They're accompanying me for security purposes.
We've been hired, and we're making good wasp money.
We just need to find our way to the VIP area, which I wouldn't have thought would be a problem, but apparently...
If he dies of poison, we're not going to get enough money to buy wasps, and that's a problem.
I think I came this way.
Okay, damn Kenneth.
He sort of lurches off down a cavern to the left.
I'll follow damn Kenneth.
I suppose we're as well following as not.
I would like to drop to the ground and attempt to commune with the lichen.
Okay.
Is this a particular skill of yours?
No, but it's worth a go.
Make a skill check.
That's very much not a pass.
Okay. Pig drops to the ground and starts mumbling incoherently.
Oh no, the poison's got him! Quick!
You know what would go really well in here? A fire. Obviously it's damp, and I know I've been pitching this all night, but poison, spores, fire.
It is the generally accepted universal solution to all problems.
I didn't bring any
It
fire.
is very damp in here.
Yeah.
I will follow Damp Kenneth and
Okay.
leave Pig to his
Do you want
fate.
to make a luck roll?
Sure. That's just roll under your luck, right?
Under your luck.
I can't roll anything in this game. That's an 11. My luck is 9.
Dark Kenneth leads you down a musty passageway. I think it was through here.
Very well, thank you, sir. And I'll bust past him and emerge as fast as I can into whatever the next room is.
I'll walk past him and I'll say, I'll see you back at the room. And if I see any of those kids, I'll kick shit out of them for you.
Pig, frothing at the mouth a little bit. But obviously follows suit.
You walk through the oddly organic-looking door.
Christ.
I hate to say it, it's almost sphincter-like, you know?
So
That's fine, because that's what the trains are like.
we've been told to go and infiltrate a party, and we've just plunged headlong into like an eldritch horror Cthulhu cult, like or I can't say bio horror and eldritch horror in the same sense.
I've
I'm a
been
hacker
to
fraud.
some parties that have involved in door-sized sphincters.
Well, I haven't, and that sounds horrible. I'm sorry.
Oh, it was
You need to
a
keep up.
wonderful time.
You need to keep on character. You can't say like, "Oh, I've never been to like a sphincter party." Like you have to be like, "Oh yes,
I think
classic."
the Baron has probably been to quite a few
Sphincter
sphincter-related parties.
Probably.
Yeah.
There seem to be shockingly few witnesses in this whole like massive VIP area. So
You coming in, Damp Kenneth?
I'll just stay out here. It's very musty, and I like that.
It is cooling down.
And do you know what else is cool and damp, Kenneth? You.
Thank you.
I have no problems with you.
I felt really, really bad after what you said about the children being mean to him, and I've done a 180 on Damp Kenneth.
Damp Kenneth, the children are mean to him, and he's nice to our son.
He is, actually, as long as he doesn't breathe on him.
You find yourself in a small chamber. The walls are gently pulsating flesh. There's a very sharp smell of ammonia. There's nothing else in the room apart from sitting dejectedly in the middle of the room. There's 7 or 8 humanoid frogs. They're dressed in suits and they're carrying woodwind instruments.
Hello!
are they playing?
No.
Do you know Damp Kenneth? He's a priest of frog gods.
That weirdo out there, and I'd nothing to do with us, mate.
Alright, okay.
Good. Are you the band? We're looking
We're supposed to be.
We're looking for the VIP area.
Well, so are we, pal.
Okay.
It's a shockingly poorly laid out development, this, isn't it?
You're frogs, right?
He sort of, they look at each other.
You're water-based. You're water-based frogs, aren't you? Immune to fire. I like it.
I don't know if that's how that works.
They're water guys. Like frogs. You're water
But
guys.
their instruments are wood. And one might even say that's their livelihood.
Oh, yes.
Basically their life.
You both raise very interesting points there. So you're, like, partially immune to fire.
What are you on about, mate?
He is going to try the door back from whence they came.
Well, that's another good point, actually. Is there another entrance or exit to this room?
There's nothing but the gently pulsing fleshy walls.
Okay.
So this is just like a little dead end. Well, we could go back out, but it's full of poison in there.
Even though you're not enjoying the smell of ammonia, even having immediately left the Velvet Cavern, it doesn't seem like a...
Out of the Velvet Cavern
Into
pan
another
into
type
the,
of
into
velvet
the
cavern.
pulsating sphincter fire.
Yes. You're already feeling better for breathing the... I wouldn't say fresher air, but the less poisonous spore air.
Less poisonous spore, more ammonia,
More
though.
ammonia, not good in itself.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Do you know what that smell is? Not that I'm suggesting anything, gentlemen. It seems odd.
No idea, mate. Let me tell you something. We're meant to meet the rest of the band. We're meant to perform. Don't know where they've gone. We've been wandering around here. If you ask me, the technicians have messed something up.
No.
Yes.
No. They're good guys. You should like them because you're frogs. I'm assuming you're green.
There are sort of various froggy shades, green, brown. There's no...
Goblins are green.
Gidbit is on levels of racial profiling normal humans have yet to.
They're water-based. They're water-based frogs.
I suppose. Is there anything we can do for you to help you? Or?
Well, we're looking for the rest of the band.
Yes.
Hmm.
Well, I'm afraid we haven't seen them.
Do you think we should, because, I've been in some orifices before. I know my way around. Do you think we should stab at the walls frantically and then we make it, expunged out?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the first part of that sentence?
Stab at the walls.
No, the part about being in some orifices before.
Well, I've been in some orifices, like the trains.
Okay.
The trains are orifice space.
I just felt
The chains themselves are not organic, it's the tubes.
Yeah, you've been stuck in a tube line before, you've stabbed a tube.
To be fair, for the average inhabitant of Troika, this is perhaps less horrifying than it would be for if any of us was in this situation. I'll grant you that. Are you going to try and stab at the
I'm going
walls?
to take out my knife, which is number 1 in my infantry. So I just get it out.
Yep.
And I'll stab at the walls.
So you're going for your knife, not your sword, your long sword, or your great sword.
No, why would I do that? I'm stabbing at the walls.
Okay.
So are you stabbing the walls, or are you trying to actually make a cut?
Stab at the walls.
Okay, you stab at the walls, your knife goes into them, and a sort of clear liquid starts coming out, starts trickling out. It's a sort of clear, treacly liquid. Starts slowly oozing out of where you've cut.
Have you seen this before, frogs?
They just shake their heads and look bemused.
Okay,
does the discharge smell of ammonia?
Slightly.
Has the door back to the door we came in, has that vanished?
No, it's still there.
Going for the door. For the love of God.
I'll just say to the frogs, just out of interest, I'm not making any promises, but if I were to reunite you with your other band members, would you be some sort of associated reward?
Way to bury the lead. Way to be unkind. Hey, if I see your fellow professionals at an event in which you're all lost, will you financially reimburse me?
Oh, not necessarily financially.
The oboe player pipes up. Aren't you Baron Rombobulus?
Yeah, that's indeed, yes.
Aren't you like one of the richest men in Troika?
I believe
you don't get rich by not asking for rewards.
I'm not asking for a reward, it just seems like a strange set of situations, and it seems like the type of thing where that would be the case.
And you're going to exploit it for monetary gain?
No, I'm just curious.
Well, I was curious too, and that's how I ended up at my last sphincter party. And then I'm going to crack the door open and...
Pig leaves the room.
I'll mumble something incoherently and follow.
Do you want to come, frogs? Do you want to come with us?
Do you know the way?
No.
Well...
The frogs confer amongst themselves.
We're a legit bunch of guys.
They roll their little froggy eyes at that. They confer amongst themselves. The oboe player, who seems to be the sort of in charge, says, "Yeah, all right then."
Yes.
So you've got 7 little frog companions. They're not your companions, but they're tagging along with you.
Okay.
So you're looking for the rest. How many more people are in your band? Because there's already 7 of you. Is this like a J-pop thing, like a ska band, or?
It's a fusion of the two, actually.
You've not heard of us, the Green Pond Orchestra?
The Green Pond Orchestra. And you definitely aren't related to Damp Kenneth, who's the priest of ponds.
No, mate. No,
But he's a befouler of ponds.
He does.
If I was from Nice House and said, "Oh, do you know Destroyer of Houses?"
Yeah, I suppose you're right there, Pig.
It's one of the few things I am right about. Now, excuse me, I need to commune with the lichens.
Do you want to...
to
Get down on my hands and knees and start eating the lichen.
You know, a lot of people make that mix up, but we're frogs. That weird out there, he worships a toad. Completely different.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I've gone all white. I've gone all white on the inside. Like that stomach turning. I've made a mistake. Can you play us like a jaunty tune as we walk?
You got any requests?
No.
Like a funeral dirge.
Just to remind everybody that the end is coming.
A jaunty funeral dirge.
A jaunty funeral dirge?
Well, do it. Can you're perfectionist. Can you do a funeral dirge? Like a classical funeral dirge. The best funeral dirge. The one that everybody gets. And make it jaunty. Adds a certain level of
They sort of
jaunty.
look amongst themselves, like,
Psychologically, cock your hat a little bit. Put a little bit of swing in your step. Like you're at a funeral, but you're being jaunty about
they
it.
have another little discussion.
Like you're at the
amongst
funeral of
themselves.
someone you fucking hate.
A funeral, you know?
Both you and your newfound frog companions wind your way through the Velvet Caverns, soundtracked by the Green Pond Orchestra's jaunty funeral music. However, you still don't know where you're going. Who wants to have a stab at getting out? Well, you lost a luck point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whether you're successful or unsuccessful, you lose a point.
Would it be a luck test or an awareness
It's
test?
a luck test.
I would like to. I've got a luck. I'd like to try to find my way out.
Okay, make a luck roll.
I rolled a 7. Am I just trying to roll under the rock?
Under your luck.
Yeah, so I've rolled under.
Your luck is incredible, actually. Is it 11?
Yeah.
So that means there's only one result on 2d6 that you could fail at.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so you've spent a luck point, so you mark that at the side.
Okay. Does the luck go down because of that, or?
It's the same as stamina. It can go down and go back up again.
Okay.
So we make a note.
But the next time he does a luck check, is it like 10?
Yes, it'll be 10 next time. Gitbit offers a brief prayer to Telak. He feels Telak's presence with him, urging him to go to the right. He does so, and very soon finds himself in front of a large wooden door, decorated with floral mosaic patterns.
I have dealt with these type of things before.
Doors.
Yes. What you do is you pull the handle. And I pull the handle.
Is it a twist handle, though?
What kind of handle is it?
It's like one of these big metal cast iron jobs.
I'm going to pull the door.
Okay, you pull it open. You can see the room beyond is filled with row upon row of tiered planters filled with exotic flowers. The light in here is more similar to natural light rather than the sort of fog that's been above your head all the way through.
Okay, very good.
You can see there are several large headless people, about 7 foot tall. They've got long arms and powerful, strong bodies. Their mouths are set in their stomachs. They've got shark-like jaws and razor ridges of teeth. Dark eyes glitter in annoyance from their collarbones. And you can see they seem to be tending the flowers.
First of all, 7 feet tall.
7 feet
not
tall.
interested.
No.
Moving on. Right.
Hello! Do you have any frogs in there?
In the middle of the room, you can see there are 2 drunken giants of Corda.
Which we're all familiar with.
Which you all know what a giant of Corda is. But for the benefit of the audience, every giant has a different story about Corda, well told and interrupted with tears and laughter of how they lost it and how they need to find it soon enough. But what if today we should drink and cheer, go search once again in the morning? So
it is always in the last place you look.
It's not unusual to encounter giants of Corda, and they're all looking for Corda, but they all have a different idea where or what it is. Sometimes they argue, sometimes they drink and laugh. The 2 giants here have set up a table and they're having an arm wrestling competition, and this is your first sign of actual legitimate party goers. There's people here watching them and sort of clapping and cheering them on. They seem to be sort of putting quite a lot of effort into it.
Right.
I'll also go up and start clapping and going like, "Oh yes, go on, go, son, go on."
The slightly larger one is imagine like a 7 or 8 foot tall sort of silvery humanoid. He's got very large, impressive shoulder pads. Basically dolled himself up for the party. He wins over the slightly smaller golden coloured giant.
And I'll just go, huzzah! Very well done, very well done.
Ooh, Baron Rombobulus,
yes.
You grace us with your presence.
Yes, what a magnificent presence you have as well. Listen, now I know that you lot are always looking for Corda. We're looking for the VIP area. I don't suppose you know where that is.
Oh, we're not, of course, as important as yourself, Baron, so we've not been invited to the VIP. We're just here to enjoy the main party.
Of course.
It's up beside the lake at the other side of the Pampas room.
Oh, the other side is oh no, not the side. Oh dear. And they'll indicate the drinks that the drunken giant of Corda and so will have, and I'm like, I don't suppose you have any more of those going spare, do you?
He pulls out some from his hip flask. He says, "Oh, for you, Baron."
Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind. It's been remarkably dry, despite how damp it's been. Yeah. Thank you. I'll take whatever he's
Take
on.
a swig of this incredibly strong giant of Corda spirit. It's quite how big a swig do you take?
Whatever I reckon Baron Rombobulus would take.
Baron Rombobulus, you would take a big swig.
Yeah.
Take a big swig and oof, goes straight to your head. That's some strong stuff.
Yeah, that's basically what I say. Do I have to fail another skill roll now?
No, you're fine.
Good. Okay.
The frogs are like, can we get a move on?
Do you have any frogs in here? Have you seen any
Who
frogs?
are you talking to?
The giants.
The giant that won.
Yeah.
Saw a bunch of the little fellas down by the lakeside.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get
Good
cracking
humour.
on.
Now, did we not just come from the lakeside?
Yeah. Now, I'm not willing to, like, even consider the idea that reality is funked because of, like, the goblin's machine. Because, like, normally I'd be like, oh, like, the doors are going to opposite places when they need to be, and we're going to the wrong place. But I don't believe that. This is the party, clearly. There's some flowers, there's a giant, there's two giants, there's those torso men.
Yep, headless.
I'm very interested
Gardeners.
in them.
Where's the Pampas room?
Just through there, other side of the flesh chamber.
Flesh chamber, yes. All the best parties and all that. Right.
I hope this Pampas room isn't full of a huge rolling landscape of grass and wind.
Grass and wind.
Grass and wind.
Grass and wind. We can work with grass and wind.
Why grass and wind?
That's what a Pampas
I
is.
know where this is going.
I'll say, okay, nice to meet you. And I'll look at the torso men and I'll be like, good work there, lads, on the torsos.
They give you a malevolent look.
I'll try and give them a level at one back, but I'm just too happy. Like, I'm trying to frown, but I'm so smiley because they're torso men. And then we'll go through the Pampas.
I guess so.
You make your way through the flower room, through a door at the far end, which is another fleshy chamber. It's very similar in proportion to the last one, but this one has a large bulge at one side.
Oh, yes.
A flesh chamber with a large bulge.
Large bulge in the wall. But there's a door. This one has a door at the far side.
I'll go investigate this so-called bulge.
Are our frog companions still with us?
They're still with you.
Okay. Haven't found the rest of the band yet, I suppose.
We're doing our best for them now.
Yeah. I mean, their best idea seemed to be sitting in a damp room smelling of ammonia forever.
Do they have noses, frogs?
Yeah, for frogs have
Or do they
noses.
smell through their skin?
Oh, they're one of those guys.
They've got little noses, they've got little nose slits. I just don't think it's very advanced.
But
Anyway, let's find out about the bulge and this flesh
the
wall.
bulge.
I will walk farther away from the bulge than I might.
Are you just walking towards the door?
Yes, but farther away from the bulge.
I'm going to investigate the bulge.
I'll bring a big, wide-handed slap to the bulge.
I hope that this is a combat encounter that we can henceforth refer to as the Battle of the Bulge.
Of all the jokes that you reached for, you reached through the labyrinthian web of innuendo in our fleshy bulge room after the sphincter room. That's beautiful. It's like watching someone do the Robin Hood shot. You managed to land it. The one joke available to you that was suitable for children.
My association with bulge, top 5 associated words are battle,
Battle of the Bulge,
and then speedos, and then after that I've not really thought about it. But battle's very high up there.
I would say so.
Yeah.
It's alliterative.
Carry on. Slap the bulge from under, like an under slap.
It sort of wobbles in a fleshy way.
Okay. Frogs, have you seen this before?
Imagine you go to a house party, there's a house band, and you just force them to come along with you as you start interrogating the architecture of the building.
No, we've not been here before.
Okay. I'll take out a knife.
Stop stabbing walls.
I'll stab the bulge.
Okay, are you just going to stab it
I'm going to cut a hole.
You're going to cut a hole?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and open the door and peek through it.
Deal with the bulge first.
Okay.
Do you need me to roll anything here?
Nope.
Okay.
A roughly dinner plate section of flesh plops out.
Oh, God.
I've got some dinner for you, pig.
Sort of straw yellow pus starts oozing out.
Okay. No reaction from the wall, from the bulge?
Not really, no, nothing. You can hear something from inside though. Hello? Hello?
Hello? Are you trapped?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Lads, there's a frog in here. We should cut him out.
Well,
Tell you what, Git bit, you reach in. I'll hold you. I'll grab your legs, and you reach in with both arms to pull whoever's in out.
You've got all of the sharp objects. You can cut this away, can't you?
Yes,
We
yes,
put you
you're
in and
right.
spin you, and it'll.
And I'll be like, Telak, give me strength, and I'll cut more bits out of the wall.
You make a fairly large incision down one side of the bulge, and you sort of peel it back. There's a sort of plop of like a sort of big hardened mass of sort of congealed phlegmy mucus sort of thing. Sort of flops at your feet, and there seems to be something wrapped in rags, thin, maybe 2 foot long.
Okay, I'll unwrap them.
You unwrap it. You see it's a magnificent silver sword.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm free at last!
A sword, you say? Without hesitation, I'll pick it up, and I'll go up to I'll pull up to my mouth, and I'll be like, "Are you all right?"
No need to shout.
Sorry.
You've saved me. My last owner, for some reason, wanted to get rid of me.
I can't understand that. You're so shiny.
I am magnificent.
I would say that. I'll put you in my inventory.
Don't forget you gain an armor.
So you gain an armor for that.
Yeah. Where's the armor here? Where's the?
It varies by the number of swords you've got.
All right, so I'm going to put what's your name, sword?
You must give me an impressive name suitable to my stature.
Oh, I see. This is a very special moment for me. I shall call you Sword.
You can't call him Sword, because then how
you've
will you
got-
distinguish him from
You've
the
got
sword?
4 other swords called Sword.
Oh,
Give him another one.
Sword.
Sword.
The sword.
Is there a J in that? Because it's like Scandinavian.
There's a G for sure.
Sword.
Swerde.
Spelled like Sword, spelled like fjord.
Sword.
Sword.
Sword. Sword the sword.
We've just been blacklisted.
How about Swordward?
Swordwood.
Like Squidward.
Ah, Swordwood. Swordy.
Sworded.
Sworded. We did get him from an anus.
No. We got from a bulge.
We got him from a bulge in an
The
anus.
bulge that was in the anus, mind
It's an anal room for sure.
It smells that way.
Probe.
Probe.
Sworded probe.
Penetristus. Penetrator. Penny.
Pe-
Penny.
Penetrator sounds like an actual name for a magic sword.
I quite like sworded probe.
Probe. Prober.
Robert P. Sword.
Robert P. Sword.
Esquire.
The penetrating. The penetrated.
The sword
The
wasn't
penetratee.
penetrated.
The penetratee, yeah.
The opposite of
Do you like any of these names, Mr. Sword?
Have you been actually suggesting those?
Yeah.
This isn't out loud.
Usually my owners call me something a bit more epic than that.
Mighty penetrator from the sky.
It wasn't from the sky, it was from the bulge.
Mm.
From the flesh. My big bulge.
Your big bulge.
That's what
I like where you're going with this, pig.
You could just call it buried in flesh.
Buried in flesh.
Oh.
Bury flesh. Bury be sword.
Barry for short.
Barry. I'll come up with something, sword. I'm just going to put you down as sword.
You can't put it down as just sword, because you've already got a sword that's just called sword.
You in fact have several swords. not
No,
just
these are
sword.
called sword. There's like short
Sword.
What?
Short sword is long sword. Great sword is
Oh,
long
there's
sword.
one that is called sword. Do you mind being twinned with another sword?
Is it as magnificent as I?
No, but like
It's the
you'll
Wolverhampton of
be the
swords.
better sword, obviously.
I should hope so.
You're not going in slot number 1 because that's where I keep my knife,
Why?
Why
so I
do
can
you-
get my knife easy.
But
A sword is just a better knife, and this sword is just a better sword.
Sword. Do you have any magical properties other than being magnificent, of course?
Well, the majority of swords tend not to talk.
Yes, I was classing that as part of your magical generic. Do you have any effects? Can you be on fire or cast lightning or like?
I'm just magnificent. I keep a good edge, as you'll find out.
Well, I'm all about being prepared, so that fits in with my worldview and lifestyle quite well.
Are we going on some sort of adventure?
Yes, we're here to kill rats,
We're not here to kill rats. We're looking for the VIP area.
Do you know where the VIP area is at all?
I've been here for centuries. I can't believe I was abandoned.
I'm upset about that as well. Have you seen my son?
Just waft the sword over towards the robot man.
Son, look, I've got a sword.
Why do you call it Son 2?
Son, well, do you want to be my son? I don't know if you want to be my son.
I'm your trusty blade, sir.
Yeah, but you could be my child that I dote on. You could be my second son.
Second son's a good name for a sword, actually.
Second son? Nice. Yeah, I'll call you second son.
Because I'm so bright and vivid. I'm like a second son to your enemies.
No, you're literally the second son that I've conceived and birthed.
There was...
That's not as good.
No.
You see that's not as good. Can I be, what about Bright Blade or Silver Blade?
He has already written second son on the paperwork. And he did pull you from a big flesh mount, which is as close to actually giving birth as he physically can do.
Mm-hmm.
And this always happens with my owners.
Probably should be buried in the flesh room then, should you?
I think that you'll fit in perfectly with this family dynamic. And also, you'll get to kill some rats later. How do you feel about killing some big, human-sized rats?
Human-shaped rats that talk like people and don't have any rat features whatsoever.
And they're all like, I'm on fire.
Can't I kill a dragon or an Alzabo or something a bit more challenging?
Mainly rats.
I feel you and I have a mighty destiny. One that perhaps does not involve rats.
No, there was this Sphinx, right? Listen. And the Sphinx was, like, saying something about rats or something. And, like, we're here in this anus to kill rats. And the goblins, to their credit, were saying that there may or may not be rats nearby.
Well, I suppose we have to start somewhere. We could start with the rats and work our way up to a dragon.
I don't foresee that necessarily happening. I think it's mainly going to be rats and rat-like creatures for the foreseeable, you know.
Why do you call it Rat Splatter?
Rat Splatter. That's a great name. We could call you Ratty Splatty.
It's a rubbish name.
You don't even have to use the edge. You can just twat it with the side.
I want to be Dragon Splatty.
Dragon Splatty.
I mean, yes, dragons or hydras, manticores, some other sort of fearsome beasts.
I reckon it's going to be rats for you. I'll bring you out specifically for rats.
You'll come to enjoy it.
I've got bigger swords. And you're not like...
There's always a bigger sword.
Well, you're not magical in any way, are you?
Get over this!
I can literally talk.
It's not much of a combat advantage, though, is it? Yeah. We can all talk. That's something we can all do already. You're not bringing anything new to the table just by talking.
To be fair, Son 2, you can talk. Son 1 can. You've got one up on him.
That's a good point.
In the sort of parental race, when I'm putting the points down at the end of the day, when I'm marking what you've done, you are a better son inherently there. I'll give you that.
We'll compare the columns. Is made of metal, tick in both columns. Can talk, only a tick in one column.
There you go.
But happy to see us. I wasn't initially ticking both columns, but I do feel like Son 2 it's wearing off. That's a tick that's slowly getting a second line for a cross.
My second son. I'm so proud of you. You're giving me one more armour, but an inanimate sword could do that as well. You don't have any magical abilities.
I can provide you with sparkling conversation.
That's true. Do you know the band? Have you met the band? I'll show you to the frogs. Frogs, have you seen this guy before?
It's a sword, isn't it?
Yeah, but
he seems like a dick.
Well,
classic frog band.
Now, I'll put you away, and all I'm trying to say is, I'll put you in my inventory, I'll stash you away, and when we see a rat, don't worry. I'll bring you out and you can slash the rat.
I suppose I'm going to have much choice, am I?
Well, if you had any other magical abilities, you could perhaps resist his ability to do this to you.
You're not even a +1. You're not even a generic +1. You're not.
It's not even a thing.
It's not even a thing. But you don't inherently. You're not a better sword, are you? You're not a +1. You don't have a fire effect. You don't do lightning.
It's not even +1 sun because you've already got +1 sun. He's the +2 sun.
It has been a very hectic weekend. Also, there was that whole thing about getting trapped in space and time, so we probably shouldn't be.
You probably should get a jog on.
Yeah, probably. What's through this bloody door?
What danger and adventure still await our intrepid heroes? Will Gitbit finally get to set fire to something? Find out on the next exciting instalment of Ludinals.